Hello everyone, welcome to another live trading day. A little bit late this morning. Let's start off with the daily chart, see what's happening here. Okay. November low. Still a big channel up. Let's mark out a few key levels. Got our range. Let me make sure this straight. Got a range here. Small range here. And range here. Now we're currently in a really tight range. Let's take a look at this range real fast. Is this straight? It's not straight. So when we look at this range, we have a big bull bar. This was actually, it doesn't really show it on here, but if you look at SPX, it's an overnight gap up, but on these NinjaTrader charts, it's just shown as a big bull bar. It's thought of as the exact same way though. So big bull breakout bar. Very next day, disappointed bulls. Very next bar here. Big disappointment to the bulls, likely sellers above. Next day was a bear bar. Bull bar that didn't go very far, bear bar that didn't go very far. Then we have a bigger bull bar. So the bulls are beginning to buy again, beginning to buy lower. And now we're on this bar, and this is our current day. This might be a breakout day, but we know that there are bear sellers above. So we have to be really, really careful about where we choose to take our breakout at. There could still be more bear sellers up here. We could just continue on in this range. And I mean, there's some evidence for that too. Just as channel line a little bit more, you might say, oh, well, we haven't touched the channel line. We need to touch the channel line for more buyers to come in. And if we pushed up here, and we made a new high, and we broke out, it would also be a 20 EMA gap. It's not impossible, but if we look back at this trend here, if we look back at it, we have a 20 EMA gap here, 20 EMA gap here, 20 EMA gap that didn't go very far, ended up being a range. And we touched the 20 EMA, rejected, touched the 20 EMA, rejected. Small gap here, but we basically touched it. Touched the 20 EMA, rejected, touched it and rejected. So when we look at all this, and gap means that there's a lot of strength between the moving average and the price itself. If we look at all this, then we can say that it's probably a little bit less likely that we're going to have a gap from the moving average. But it's not impossible. It's not impossible. But it's tough buying the breakout here because you know that there's bear sellers above. We know that. We know it from this bar. We know it from the lack of follow through. Now, are there a lot of bear sellers? Probably not, because it's just, look, it's two bear bars. So probably not a lot of bear sellers, but they are up here. Probably been relatively disappointed from this week, but that's what you should expect in a big bull trend like this. That's what you should expect. All right, let's look at the 1 hour. Looks a little bit chaotic with all these lines on here. A lot of ranging action here. We had double top highs, which ended up being support for price here. Now we're beginning to push up. Maybe it'll be another double top, maybe it won't. Sometimes we look at the probability of a double top. If we see extra bear sellers, it'll increase the probability of bears beginning to sell again at the top. We don't really see that here. Let's go into the 5-minute. Seeing sort of the same thing. We had this really strong push down, but it was climactic. Big bear leg like this, you would think that there'd probably be a second leg. You might could say it's 1, 2. You might could say it's just 1, because this is obviously a big bear breakout and a change in market structure. It looks like it happened about 3:30 in the morning or so, and there were enough bulls in the market to buy it back. So for the moment here, we're just kind of sitting and waiting, and let's see what'll happen. Right now we're having a big push up, but the bulls are stalling a little bit, so bears aren't necessarily selling very heavily, but I don't think that the bulls are very inclined to buy the new high, buy the breakout. They're a lot like me, and they're kind of hesitant in doing so. Oh, let's see. Something else I'm watching today. Watching the NASDAQ. Something similar happening. It is breaking out too. Let's move some charts over real fast. Okay. Let's look at this for a second. This is the 5-minute right now, so we have channel line, trend line, whatever. This line just kind of marks the previous high. Gap up, tested the gap, filled it, so I guess it's technically a negative gap from here to here. It was technically a negative gap. And first leg up. Let's look at this bull bar for a second. This big bull bar looks really strong, but we have to take it in the right context too. This bull bar closed at its high, but it's an inside bar to this bear bar, so it's not quite as strong. Let's look at the follow through. We have a bull bar as a follow through, but after that follow through we have another bear bar, bull doji, bull bar. It's still more buying pressure. There's just not as much buying pressure really as I'd like there to be. Let's look at some others real quick. Let's see, I'm in USO at the moment. Been holding this for a while. Big gap up today. Up pretty good. Let's see, how much am I up right now? Yeah, USO is up almost 3% at the moment for me. I'm in Murphy as well. Murphy is doing great too. This is something I've been watching about Murphy. I'll zoom out here in a second. It's hard to see on this. Let's see. I guess may I adjust it here? No. That's fine. Weeble keeps messing with my settings and it's really annoying. This is actually a major channel line from a wedge reversal on the daily chart. So this channel line is on the daily, so we have broken this channel line, and that is good news. I anticipated a break, but you know, resistance is resistance until it's not. I mean, that's literally the rule of the game, though. Resistance is resistance until it's not, and you never know when the exact moment is that it's going to break and become not resistance. Okay, I'm going to continue to watch those, and I am calling trades out to my Discord subscribers, even though I won't mention them on here. If you did want to join the Discord, I'll leave a link in the description. If you just want to try us out, you can use promo code TRADESPACE and get a week for free, as well as $1 for your first month. So it's a really good deal. I want you to try us out and be happy. I want you to be profitable with us. Did really well last year. Portfolios were up over 100%. Big break here. Big break. You can almost say, I mean, you can almost say, oh, well, it's a big bull bar. Maybe it's by the close. And you could really call this a trend too, right? So it's like big bull bar. Bull bar, let's pull back. Bull bar, bull bar. It's 1, 2, 3. This doji bar is happening a little bit before, or right around 9:30, I think. So, what does that look like on the 2000 tick? Right about, I guess it's here, right in here. 1, 2, second entry long. 1, right, yeah, and then pull back here, second entry here. Not a good signal bar though. The market is really keeping me out right now. I really don't want to buy the high. I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. I don't want to buy the high. Also maybe think of this. Something like that. Something like this, maybe. You can maybe think of it like that. You can maybe think of it like that. I think I'm going to think of it like this, though, because we have 2 levels here, and it's healthy whenever you're drawing a range. It's healthy to have things that break out, because there's always things trying to break out of a range. That's why it's called a range. There's always things trying to break out of it. If nothing ever tried to break out of a range, they wouldn't call it a range. It's like the name itself implies that price is supposed to try to break out of it all the time. Try to break out here, failed. Try to break out here, failed. Try to break out here, failed. Failed. Temporarily failed. More bull buyers at the bottom here. Maybe it's a measured move. Channel, break, channel, right around a measured move level. If you think of a channel, break, channel, measured move, that's something to keep in mind too. Channel, break, channel, measured move at the high of the day. We have a bear bar here. Now we have about, what, 2.5 minutes left in this bar, but you kind of have to ask, like, you know, what is this bear bar potentially going to undo? It's like, well, it could, while this bar is forming, let's just think to ourselves, like, what would happen if it looked like this, or if it looked like that? If it closed at its low, let's just say it didn't go any lower, but it closed at its low. And so if you look to the left, and you say, okay, well, this bear bar closed lower than how many bars to the left? Not very many. Not very many. So let's look at the previous couple of bars. Big bull bar, bull bar, bull bar, bull bar, bull bar. This is obviously a small trend. We may very well just be converting into a trading range, right? Because it might just be breakout, channel. This is the range. Maybe it'll last 2 or 3 bars, and then maybe it'll come back down again. Maybe test down. That might be a theory, but let's just say that this closed at its low here. Let's say it closed here, and we look to our left and we say, okay, well, it didn't close very many bars to the left, especially not on a 5-minute. And then we say, okay, well, it may have undone this bull bar and some of this one, but it wouldn't undo any more. And so, how strong is that bar? Can it really be enough to be a reversal? Anything is possible, but if it closed up here more, then maybe not. Now we're starting to get a little bit more movement. We'll see where this closes. But if this closes really far down here, it might completely undo this 1, 2, 3, 4, these previous 4 bars here. May very well be a range. Might be a tight range at the very top here. Let's see what the response is. It's got a wick on it, right? It's got a wick. It closed just above, looks like it closed a tick above this bull bar here, so it didn't completely undo this bull bar. And this is already a range in and of itself, right? We think about our market cycles. We think breakout. Why is it a breakout? It broke out above this high here. We're breaking out of something. I guess we do have this, it's kind of hard to see actually. We also have this big long wick here. And it didn't really have a strong breakout of that either. Right, if we're talking about a breakout here. Yeah, actually that wick kind of, it's definitely not helpful for the bulls either. It's kind of hard to see. I thought it was that line right there. This is why we want to be careful buying breakouts. We can have some convincing looking breakouts, but we need really good context. The vast majority of breakouts fail. The vast majority of them. Still watching the NASDAQ as well. I'm seeing similar price action. It's maybe a little bit ahead of the S&P. Of our highs. I guess those are the previous highs. We kind of have like a breakout of it. Can I not change? Give me 2 seconds here. Let me change charts on this. Oh my don't know why I can't move this. I don't know why it's so difficult to use Weeble. Just make it go away. Okay, let's look at the daily chart. Just a little bit of analysis that I've done. This is from my Discord group here. I'll leave it up, you can kind of look at it. Go away. Clear some of this out of the way though, so that we can see what's going on. We have bear sellers above. It's not a bad breakout. It's not really that bad. Just move this, ignore this moving average too. It's not, I don't use the 5 moving average. Just Weeble settings, but starting to break out here more and more. It's a little bit cleaner than the S&P. I wouldn't really mind. I don't really know how much of a pullback we're going to get is kind of the thing, because I'd love for it to pull back. If it pulled back near this channel line here, I would get it at the previous high, which should now be support, hopefully, and this channel line, and it would probably be a pretty good spot to actually look to take position at. I don't really know if I'm going to get it though. This is the previous breakout point though. If it gaps this breakout point, 1, 2, It would be nice if it did gap that breakout point. There's other breakout points too though. Right, there's one here. High, pullback, breakout point, right? And it touched it. Pretty good signal bar, honestly. Maybe I'll enter in a little bit. Okay, still watching the S&P here. It's 2,000 tick. Okay, I am watching a bunch of other things as well right now, so just give me a second here. Move to the 5-minute again. Okay, so just have to, I have a lot to do. I have a lot to do. I have a lot of Discord things to answer. A lot of people messaging me and asking me questions, so sometimes I have to kind of stop what I'm doing and look at that. But here we are, still watching the ES. We're breaking out now. Let's go through this one more time here. We have a big breakout bar. Doesn't really go above this high, but you can say it breaks out of here. And it is still relatively significant, but not quite as significant as if it really broke out of here. Once we finally do have a breakout, small pullback here by the way, once we finally do have a breakout here, it has no follow through, so not very strong. But what did the bears get out of this? They got 2 bars. In fact, they got, let's see, they got outside, inside bar, inside bull bar. So even though this is a very tight profit target, technically, with the highs being here, still a breakout pattern for the bulls. Now, the biggest question really is how many bear sellers are above? And, you know, we don't really know for sure, but there's probably not too many. Because they probably saw the way that what happened to these bears here, where they have one really nice bar, they have no follow through. In fact, it's an inside bar, and then it's followed by another big bull bar. So there may not be a lot of bear sellers up here, which you could also still, I mean, you know, this could still be a range. That's something else to consider. Because nothing, if we look to the left once again, nothing has truly had a strong breakout of this yet, this high. If we took a horizontal line and we put it right here at that high, and we say, okay, has anything truly broken above it? No, nothing has truly broken above it yet. Push here, that's all. That's all we have. I do think this is going to break out eventually. We go to, let's look at daily real fast. I think it's going to break out eventually, and I think it's going to be kind of soon. What's kind of soon? Well, it's a good question. I would say, probably within a week. Within a week for sure. And if you have if you're buying this on the daily chart, even here on the highs, you're probably not very afraid to buy the highs if you're trading a daily chart, not the 5-minute. But if you buy the highs and you buy small and you don't use a stop loss, and you know that we're in a range, we know that the price is very unlikely to get past this 20 EMA or this channel line. And if that's the case, then you know that you can scale in and get out break even. There's a really high probability that you'll be able to do that. It is trying to break into all-time highs. I don't actually know what the exact number of the all-time highs are, but it's pretty close to it. I know that much. If we look on the daily and we zoom way in, we can probably tell it hasn't broken yet. Has not broken. Once again, it's not a strong breakout here. Not a strong breakout. Plays are absolutely killing it today, guys. Doing really, really good. I did take a position in something else, but I'm not going to say what it is, because not all of y'all are Discord subscribers. But our oil plays are doing great right now. Let's see. Quick look. Quick look. Let's see. Murphy is challenging this big channel line here. I have faith in it. I think it'll do something. I don't really want it to range out a whole lot here, but it's natural for price to do it. Have a range, and then it'll have a breakout of that range, or of the major resistance levels. And so, I mean, it's okay for it to toy around here. The thing about Murphy, too, is it's really not the biggest mover either. 1, 2, measured move, leg down. Get rid of all of these. Don't listen to this, guys. Don't listen to this. I don't know what Weevil puts on here. Don't listen to that. Do your own analysis. Yeah, we have a big double bottom, push up. Now we're at this major trend line here. where's the actual like long-term profit target on this trade? It's going to be about here. Oh wait, no wait, that's not a wedge. It's just one, two legs down. So actually, well, it'd still be about here. It'd still be somewhere around the middle, or the previous lower high. Maybe it'd be here, somewhere in this area. Probably going to be the actual profit target. It's kind of weird here because it's gap up, right? Gap up, and then immediate sell off. Lots of gaps in Murphy though. Gap up, sell off. Gap down, bull day. Gap down, bear day. Gap down, gap up. You see what I mean though? Gap down. Like every single day it opens, there's a gap somewhere. Gaps in here, gaps in here. There's a gap between here, a gap between here. I swear it's like almost every single day has a gap on the daily chart. Lots and lots of gaps. It's funny because it doesn't have a big days range. So, you know, except in rare cases, like here's a big bull bar. Here's a big bull bar. I mean, those are nice bull bars. But it doesn't have a big day range. But then it'll have these overnight gaps. And you just like, you're just slowly eating away at the bears with these gaps. Okay. It's another one I've been looking at. It's another trade I actually called out in the Discord is MRO. Another oil play. We were really, really smart this week because we knew that this week was going to be a range and it was likely going to be a tight range. So we kept a lot of people out of the market. And now we're at the point where we're going to, you know, likely begin to be breaking out of this tight range here, and it's about time for the market to do it. It's kind of in the beginning portion of when it should, but you know, sometime soon. So it's another one that we called out here is MRO, and this is on a nice trend, right? Breakout, had a solid breakout of this trend line, and it's a wedge reversal, right? 1, 2, 3, and we have extra confirmation of this. Sometimes you can look at wedges, and it's in a lot of different ways because you can use subdivision too. So it's like we said, 1, 2, 3. Is it, you know, is that the wedge? Obviously it wasn't. We know that historically. You know, is it like 1, 2, I don't know, is it 3? Is this 3 because we have a gap up? It's like, well, you know, sometimes you don't really know, but in this case we have extra confirmation. We have this big leg down. Each consecutive bear leg has been a little bit smaller, and then if we go even further down here, we have a low, we have a higher low, and you can call this a higher low double bottom, and you can also call this and this a double bottom, maybe a micro double bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars in between. So not a whole, just about, you know, a week, about a week's worth. And it's followed by this big bull bar. And what is the follow through of the bull bar? It looks kind of weak at first because it's like a bull doji, bear doji, but then it's a breakout. And it's an inside bar too, right? Inside breakout. It's a triangle on the smaller chart. Push up, pull back, able to buy above. We actually have a low 1, low 2 failure. That's where we're at right now, is a low 2 failure. And the funny thing, I don't use the 5 EMA, but we pretty much have the support of the 5 EMA. And the closer the EMA is, the lower the number. If it's showing support there, then that means that the trend is stronger as well. But it's always going to, the reason like you don't use something like a 5 EMA is just because it's so rare that the market actually uses a 5 EMA as support. And, you know, frankly, it generally will only do it for a couple of bars. Okay, let's go back to the ES. Good old ES. I'm going to pull up my secret chart on my other screen. Little bit stronger breakout on the ES here. Little bit stronger. Still not something I want to buy into, though. Let's try to draw some trend lines, shall we? Lower high. Yeah, go here. I do kind of wish we could get into a trade today, though. I just haven't seen anything I'm willing to buy. I don't really want to buy into the high right here. I wouldn't mind a pullback. I mean, I partially don't want a pullback, but I wouldn't really mind a pullback. I would just have to look to see what that pullback looked like. I mean, that, like I said, I guess I could have bought here. It's just not a very strong break. And I get that, you know, the bulls look at this and they say, okay, maybe we didn't, you know, do super great here, but the bears have absolutely no follow through in this area here. So in fact, you know, we have a doji bar right here, and that's a pullback on a smaller time frame chart. I bet you there's a pullback on a 2000 tick. Look at that. You can buy above there. Let's look at these gaps. Breakout, negative gap, breakout. Let's see what this looks like. It's a little bit distracting if it's just a bunch of lines on here. If I can make them less line-like, won't be quite so distracting. There we go. There's a big breakout. Okay. If this bar has a decent close, then I'm going to be willing to buy pullbacks. I'll be willing to buy pullbacks in a trend. We are pretty far away from the 20 EMA, but I would be okay to I would be okay to buy with the 20 EMA gap. I would be okay to do that. Yeah, that's all I have to say. But I'm gonna wait. I need a pullback. So if this is a trend, if this is the beginning of a trend, which it may be, and if it is, this could be a really good thing. If we begin to get more momentum in the middle of the trend, then that can be a really good sign that the trend is still strong, really, if bulls are willing to buy higher and higher and higher, and if they're still making money doing it. I'm going to wait. I just need a small pullback. I don't anticipate, we have a 2-bar pullback here. So I don't really anticipate anything more than a 2-bar. Now I could have, and I mentioned it, I could have bought at the high of this doji here, because this doji is a pullback on a smaller time frame chart. It's this right here, right? Here's a pullback, here's a pullback. This is probably both the doji. These are probably both in the doji bar right here, or something along these lines. 6. Let's see here. I'm kind of just exploring negative gaps on a 2000 tick. But, theoretically, you should... that gap is somewhere on this chart. It's kind of hard to see, though. But yeah, like I was saying, because this is a pullback here, I know that this is a pullback. I can buy above this doji bar, and I can generally at least make a scalp, which would have happened here. But I want a wave that I can ride a little bit better. I want a little bit better price, and I might suffer from that because I don't want to buy the high. So I may just be sitting here and missing out on trades because okay, I could buy this high, this bull bar. I could buy the high of this bull bar here and probably still make money. But I've made my decision. I'm sticking to it. I'll wait for an inside bar or for a 2-bar pullback or something like that, and then I'll look to enter. Waiting on a pullback here. Let's look at USO real fast. I'm gonna stick to the plan. I can enter here. I know I can enter here. I know I can enter here and probably make money. But I made a plan. I'm sticking to it. For better or for worse, that's what we do as traders. There's no one perfect plan. It doesn't exist, unfortunately. I wish it did. But have some self-control. Don't go outside your plan. Let's look at USO. Nice little gap up today. It was actually like a push-up, and it was a first entry, second entry, with a pretty good signal bar, right? I mean, if you see this bear bar closing at its low, and oh man, maybe it's a gap. I mean, maybe we're going to fill the gap. And it's like, oh, well, maybe not, though. Maybe not. Here, bear bar. Nice bull signal bar, followed by a bull bar, and a nice trend up. And USO also doesn't generally have a very big days range. This may just kind of become an endless pullback, but we have the bears that they're not very willing to sell here. Not very willing at all. So if we see a pullback and the bears don't appear to be willing to sell, then what's more likely? Is it going to be a reversal, or are we going to continue higher and it's just a small pullback? It's probably just a small pullback. Now, like I said though, because this generally has such a small days range, it's kind of like Murphy. It may be that this kind of just becomes an endless sort of pullback, but you never know. Never know. Murphy. Challenging this trend line. MRO. We have just been killing it lately, guys. Look at this. Beautiful second entry. 1, 2. Great signal bar. It's an inside bar, even. This is like one of the best signal bars you can have, right? Just a little bit of a push below. It's basically at the same level. You have a bear bar. Very next bar is an inside bull bar that closes near its high at the 20 EMA. I mean, you really can't ask for a better signal bar than that. That's rare. It's like a perfect signal bar. And look at this nice little move it led to. It's a day trader's paradise. Inside, outside, inside. Oh, so it's inside, outside, inside. So maybe we'll have buyers above here. And a small pullback. Maybe there will be buyers one tick above. Okay. Need you to go to my other screen. Alright, just kind of sitting here and waiting on a small pullback. We're really far away from the 20 EMA now. We have a gap here, so I think this may be the beginning of a strong trend. It might be, you never know. They can be deceiving sometimes. Oh, are we going to have our first bear bar? We might have our first bear bar. If we can have our first bear bar, I can look to enter. Okay, give me a bear bar. So close here, so close. Just give me a bear bar. I want a reason to buy. Give me a reason to buy. I'm looking for excuses to buy here. Probably. Do you think we're really going to get to this trend line? I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll put it up, but I don't know. I don't really know. It's kind of far. Surf. No, it's not our first push below the 20 EMA here. It's a double top. Record double top. Geez, do you really think this is going to be a 1-bar pullback? Do you think it can be a 1-bar pullback? It might be. It might really be. Maybe I'll look for, this is high 1, this is a high 2 on a 2000 tick. Don't really have a good signal bar, but it may not matter. I'm going to look to enter here. I might just get stopped out really, really fast, but where is my... Oh, do I not have Chart Trader turned on? 1 second. The Chart Trader is on, so there, it pops up. Weird. I don't really know what's happening here. Okay. Geez, well, I might not get filled now. We'll see if I get filled or not. Probably do just a little bit more. I don't want to really, because if it's... My plan here is I can bet on a 1-bar pullback. Okay, I mean, that's fine. But if it's not, if it goes below, I'm just going to allow myself to get stopped out, so I don't want to risk too much. Because what I'll do is I'll just allow myself to get stopped out, and I'll re-enter on something else, on like a high 1. Hey, there we go, I guess I'm filled. Okay, well, I'm either going to get stopped out here and I'll look to re-enter, or I will, I don't know, do something else. You might think I'm a little bit crazy and willing to get stopped out. That's fine. As long as my reward stays big, in fact, I mean, I'm not even going to use a take profit here. Definitely not the fill that I want, but it's okay. Stay calm, relax. Let's look at this 5. What do you think? If this was an inside bull bar, would that be a pretty good signal bar? Yeah. There we go. I mean, in a trend, you know, it's not too bad, not too bad. See if there's bull buyers above. It'd be nice, right? Buy the high one. Let's see, you bought the high one here. I might buy the high one. I don't really know like how far we're going to get. I guess move to break even around the high, and maybe I'll find a place on the 2000 tick after I move to break even. To look to find a good place to trail my stop. I don't know. We'll see. I really, though, I don't, because this is a trend, I don't want to look to constantly be re-entering into the trend. I want to hold this. I don't want to constantly re-enter. Because what's the point? I don't understand. Why would you want to re-enter into a trend? It's a trend. Just buy it. You can hold through the pullback. It's not a big deal. Still a lot of time left in this bar. Had a break even here, double top. I say double top. It's not like it's done forming or anything. Like, you know, it's not truly a double top. But there were some sellers here. At least though, if we need a longer pattern, or if we need a high 2 for us to go any higher, then, you know, it might just be 1, and then kind of a smaller pullback in a range and a 2. But it is an inside bar, so, you know, it is something that bulls can buy, even though we are kind of far away from the 20 EMA. Don't want to see you. Go away. I tell you what, if I make like, what are we at, 128, it's only like 25 points. If I make like, I don't know, 100 points today, I'll use a take profit. Something like that. Something in there. Yeah, there we go. Something in there. If I make like 100 points, I'll use a take profit. But apart from that, I mean, it's a trend. I don't want to use I don't want to set a take profit. I just want to use my trailing stop to take profits, because I want to allow the market to move as much as possible. I said it in the beginning, I'll say it again, I'm willing to let myself get stopped out here. I'm willing to do it. This is what I mean though when I say, like, if you have doji bars in a trend, it's actually a pullback, right? So it's like here. If you bought above here, you know, it's a nice little scalp. These aren't always. It depends on what your goal is in trading this, right? If you're convinced that this is a really nice breakout here, and you want to participate in this, then what some traders will do is they can scalp for a couple of points. Maybe they sell below this bar at a minor profit. Maybe they see this bar and wait for a push up, and then maybe this bar disappoints them and they take profits one tick under here. If you're a scalper, you know, right about there, it's probably why it reacted kind of quickly like that. But you can also just say, okay, well, this is a reason to enter. So I want to enter, and now you have a position. And now you say, okay, well, now that the market is going against me, or if it gets back to my position, maybe I'll buy a little bit more. And you say, well, maybe we're kind of far away from the 20 EMA here. What if, let's see, is there a previous inside bar? There's here, but we probably, if this is a true, you know, strong trend, we probably won't get back to there. You know, you can say, I don't know, maybe this breakout point here. In fact, why don't we, because we don't need this top line anymore, right? I don't know what this line's for, so we'll just move it here to the previous breakout point. You say, okay, well, maybe I want to add to my position here at the previous breakout point. And there we are, stopped out. We do kind of have a double top, but it's okay. We're just going to sit here and wait. Sit here and wait. Okay, what do we need to enter? We need a good signal bar. Need a good signal bar. Not worried about this. Not worried about it. Let's see. MRO is still on a nice move here. What else we have? Murphy. Yeah, Murphy's probably going to have maybe another range overall. USO broke into a new high. It was like right where I said it would too. I don't want to change screens because I don't want to stop watching this, but it was it USO that I said? Or was it MRO? Had inside, outside, inside bars in a small pullback. And then another one that I bought. I don't trade options a lot. Just not really my thing. But I did buy a call option on this trade, and let's see, what's it up? Bought it not too long ago. I'm up 14% at the moment. Almost 15. Probably about to be up 15. So not too shabby for having just bought it. Okay. Bears had their fun. Let's try to find a signal bar here. Most traders have several portfolios. Whenever one's weak, the other one's probably going to be strong. Hopefully, at least. I mean, if you're good, I guess. One might be weak, but at least one will be good. A lot of people, they think that they can just get in this and make a few trades and make a lot of money. It's almost impossible to do. At least do it consistently. Anyone can get lucky. But it takes a lot of work and a lot of discipline to even really be able to properly manage multiple portfolios. And here, of course, I have my day trading portfolio, and then I also have my swing trading, or my main two. But even with like I had mentioned too, I was willing to get stopped out. But even with getting stopped out here, my other portfolio is doing awesome today. So it really helps everything equal out. Maybe we will get to this channel line. Maybe we will get here. Whoa, what happened? If you're interested in working with me one-on-one and learning about price action and trading, I do have a Fiverr gig that I'll link in the description. If you're interested in having some of the best trades called out to you in a signals group, then I will link that in the description as well. The trades in the Discord are all based off of historical data, key dates to buy and sell. You know the trade's probability before you take it. It's really useful because even if you just trade price action and you say, oh, well, I'm a good price action trader, fair enough, I get that. With that being said, though, knowing these key aspects, you'll find out that they often correlate to what's happening in the price action. The averages are really good to use, and they're all right around what you'd say if you say, oh, well, this is an obvious profit target on my chart for price action, then say, okay, well, I mean, that's fair, and you look at the average win percentage of a trade that you're looking at, and you say, okay, well, that's about the same percentage too. So the profit targets are very close to each other. Same with stop loss, it works the same way. Just looking for a good signal bar. Now this right here, let's look at the daily. We really need to watch this. Had a break above, slight break above. I think that we're going to go higher. I really do. Might get to this trend line. Crazy. Just can't guarantee that it's today. I mean, you really, really can't. Let's see, where was I? 5 minutes. But I do think it's going to happen in the next several days. Buying above here is buying a high 2. On a 5, on a 2000 tick, it's 1, 2. This is the high 2. Try to enter here. Probably won't happen though. That's probably not going to happen. This is going to be a weak bar. Okay. Filled a little bit early, but I think I see what's happening here. This is a negative gap. So, I'm not really convinced that this trend is quite as strong as what we would like it to be. But I think that we can at least get back to the previous highs. If we can do that, I would take almost 9 points for the day. It's fine. Oh. Okay, let's see. About a minute or so left in the bar. I think we can finish as a strong bull bar. I hope we can. If so, then it's a nice high 2 buy setup, as long as we close as a bull bar. Of course, the stronger the close, the better. But, you know, if we close as a bull bar, and we don't go above this high here, then it's a nice signal bar for a high 2. Then we just need to push 1 tick above this bar. We can, I imagine some bulls will get filled in a high 2. Alright, first entry, second entry, theoretically. We'll see. We're going to find out. USO up almost 4% today. Amazing. Murphy around 3%, 2.95. And I have an option open, 12.5% profits at the moment. Up about 700 in this trade. Nice signal bar. Oh, that is a good signal bar. Need to push one tick above now. There we go. Let's see some bulls get filled on a high 2. High 2, second entry. Nice signal bar. Hopefully this will be a good second entry. I see so many people scalp second entries. I don't get why. They do this thing where they like go for 1 point. And they're like, okay, I made a point. I'm going to move to break even now. It just seems like you're operating out of fear to me. You're operating out of a lot of fear. Like, don't get me wrong. I might lose this trade. I've completely accepted that I might. And you have to do that in each trade. You never truly know. There's no one secret to all of this, unfortunately. Just think though, if there was, and everyone would do it, and if everyone did it, then you'd never lose, and nobody else would either. And you need other people to lose in order for you to make money. Oh, come on, guys. I thought y'all were stronger than this. Oh man. Do we want to move to break even if it's a disappointing bar? I don't know. Might just. Just something to think about. Moving to break even on disappointment is fine, but you You need to be sure about what you're doing. It is kind of a large negative gap here. We'll see. If there's a little bit of a range here, I want to allow it. It's the 1 hour. So the 1 hour, really, it's got a big bull bar and about 15 minutes left in the hour off that channel line, off the 20 EMA. I mean, it still has some, still kind of shows some signs of strength here. Negative, well, I don't think that's a negative gap on here. I don't really want to be in a range. I don't really want to be. Just looking at a lot of things. Had a nice push up above that breakout point. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. I want to try to let this bar develop a little bit more. Now I'll watch it, and if it looks like it's going to end up being a bear bar or a bear doji or something like that, then I'll go ahead and move to break even, and I'll just anticipate disappointment. But you know, I'm not super happy with the follow through bar here, but it could just be a pullback. And if it is just a pullback, then I want to allow it to just be a pullback. I don't want to get out of my position because I'm afraid what may or may not happen. So it's just something you have to watch really closely. If you feel like this is going to be a bear bar, then even if the bar isn't quite finished, which it's not always the best idea to do. There's a reason the close of the bar is so important. But if it is going to be a disappointing bar, then, or if it looks like it will be, then I'll move to break even. Not very disappointed right now, though. I am going to move to break even at an equal high, and I may go ahead and trail the previous bar. Just be, you know, I still kind of question how strong this truly is. I mean, is this really going to last all day? I don't know. It's a negative gap here. We're already at a second entry, which means that bulls aren't buying high ones. It's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and move to break even. We're close enough. Close enough for government work. portfolio is doing really good today. It's a good Friday. Did you know that statistically speaking, Fridays are more likely to be bullish? Just any old Friday. I'm not really at my profit target yet, but I want to go ahead and move to here. If this is a bear bar that retraces these two bars, probably not really looking to be here anyway. I'm going to at least allow myself to take some profits here. And I'm not going to lie, I have other things to do with my day. But if this becomes a bear bar, and it retraces this bull bar and this bull bar here, then we're probably just going to end up in a range anyway. So I might as well take some profits. Okay, up about 1,500. Okay. Go ahead and move up one more. Yeah, we can go ahead and move up one more. Oh wait, did this bar not finish? Oh, wait, we're still on the same bar. This is what happens when you look at multiple things at once. Talk to Discord people, you look at one chart, you look at another chart, you forget which bar you're on. I don't have a lot to say anymore. I'm just watching the market at this point. Futures only go up, guys. They only go up. Futures charts never pull back. It's not possible. That's not a pullback. That's actually just a data glitch. Those are bulls. It just goes up, 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 up. Oh, man. I want to go ahead and move up to here. I'm not going to allow a double top. I mentioned some possible weaknesses here in price, and I don't know. I don't really truly know how weak it is, but I don't know. I mean, I just look at it and I'm like, well, we have to have a second entry kind of this early on to a trend. Bulls aren't buying high ones. They didn't buy high one here. Like I was hoping they would. They bought a high 2 here, and we're just about at our profit target. We're just about there. In fact, I might should trail the bar, but I want this. If it does want to push higher, then I want to allow it to do so. I want to let it do it. So now I'm not sure how much this is, but I think, yeah, I think I'll at least be break even here for the day if I get stopped out here, and that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, I got other portfolios. Good traders have other portfolios. Probably would have taken profits on this 2000 tick though. Right about the bar bodies. See, I want to let it do this if that's what it wants to do. If it wants to go up, let it go up. Just let it go. Have you ever wondered why hedge funds have risk managers and not profit managers? You ever known someone to be a profit manager? I'm a profit manager. No, it doesn't exist. Job title is not real. It's about mitigating risk. That's what long-term trading is it's mitigating risk. It is tempting to go ahead and move to one bar trail just because we are right there. It would be a nice place to take profits. I may go ahead and do that. Kind of close. I don't really want to. Let's see, 1, 2, be a low one for the bears. I just don't want this. I don't want to be in a range here. If this is a range, I don't want to allow that. If this is a trend, then I want to allow that, but I don't want to be in a range. I'm okay with just some quick profits here, if that's actually what happens. I had kind of a disappointing bar here, so okay, there we go, and we're out. And we're out. I don't really know what'll happen. But we saw some signs of weakness in this trend here, and I didn't want to be in a range. Negative gap, this low, this high, second entry, and second entries generally come later in an established trend. If bulls are buying high ones, bought a high one here, did not buy the high one here, bought the high 2, then you know, it's getting a little bit weaker. Now it still could very well trend up more, and that's okay. You can look for other entries later. Alright, that's it for me. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this live trading session. A little bit longer than normal. If you're interested in my Discord, I have a link in the description. If you want to have one-on-one price action lessons with me, I have my Fiverr link in the description. Feel free to message me on there. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. And apart from that, guys, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.